I think we have a new contender for the top spot on the tier list. Hisuian Zoroark is completely busted in Generation 1, and today we're going to see how fast and how good it is in Gen 1. Rules are in the description. Before I dive in, I want to note that I actually filmed this playthrough on Easter, which happened to fall on 4/20 this year. But Hisuian Zoroark has the normal and ghost typing, making it immune to its only two weaknesses, Ghost and Fighting, which will make Bruno trivial later. It also gets access to Amnesia, the best badge boosting move and arguably the best move in Generation 1, although in terms of moves that we can use it with, there are only 4, Snarl, Psychic, both of which we get by level up, Fire Blast, and Dream Eater. And to briefly touch on the moves, I use the Legends Arceus Learn set. The only move we start with is Shadow Sneak, which is quick attack as a ghost move, and I explained in my Samurott video how I couldn't get priority moves to work properly, but with Zoroark, we won't have that problem. We get Snarl at 6, so we have something for Brock, Swift at 11, its signature move at 18, Bitter Malice. In Generation 8, this move inflicts the Frostbite status, which is exclusive to Legends Arceus, replacing the Freeze status condition. It's similar to Burn, inflicting damage each turn, while also cutting the damage of special moves. I instead use the Generation 9 effect of this move, which has a chance to lower the opponent's attack. I really didn't want to code in another status condition, and I feel like giving this thing the chance to freeze or burn would make it a little too OP for already a great Pokemon. I'm sure someone will let me know in the comments though, so by all means, fire away. To finish out its set, it gets Slash at 25, 2 new moves in Shadow Claw and Ball at 34 and 40, Amnesia at 43 as a Nasty Plot sub, and Psychic at 52 as an extrasensory sub. I previously mentioned that Zoroark isn't going to have a problem with priority moves. That's because of its 110 base speed, and its 100 and 125 attack and special attack, mainly the special attack. Once we get Amnesia, this thing is going to wreck the game. Where this thing falls short is in its HP and defense stat, being 55 and 60. However, that shouldn't be a problem if we're outspeeding and one-shotting everything. But with all that out of the way, let's jump into this run. I'm going to be doing the bare minimum to Brock, facing only the mandatory Bug Catcher, which gets me to level 7 once I defeat his Weedle. And Brock at level 7 does have some risk to it. 8 would get you above a damage rounding threshold, but Geodude isn't what you have to worry about. And against it, I should have just been using Snarl every turn since that utilizes my special attack, but for some reason I switched to Shadow Sneak, probably thinking that the same type attack bonus from the move would do more damage, although it utilizes my lower attack stat. And you can see against Onix, it goes for Bide on turn 2, and thankfully I get a 3-turn Bide, because if I didn't, this would be a loss, but Zoroark gets by this one. On my way to Mount Moon, I'm going to stick to minimum battles, but I'm going to be picking up one optional battle in Mount Moon. I've talked about this in the past, how you don't want to be too low of a level when you get to Cerulean in case Misty or the rival gives you trouble, and you could be stuck there for quite a while if that's the case. But I'm going to be battling the Rocket Raticate Grunt. This level 16 Pokemon can normally pose problems, but when you're immune to its attacks, it's just free experience, and after knocking out the Voltorb on the Super Nerds team, I'm level 17, and I'm going to take on the rival once I enter Cerulean. The only Pokemon that has an attack that can hit me is Charmander with Ember, but with a high special stat, it's not going to be doing much, and I don't get trolled by Pidgeotto's Sand Attack in this battle. I learn Bitter Malice in the middle of it, and we can just move on to Nugget Bridge. First, I want to point out this cotton candy colored water. I think it looks pretty nice. Let me know what you think in the comments. But back to Zoroark, nothing is a problem for it here. We have plenty of PP, move variety, immunity or resistances to nearly all attacks, and nothing stands in our Ghost Fox's way, not even the second gym leader Misty. I wish Psychic types weren't immune to Ghost moves in Gen 1, because Bitter Malice probably would have made quick work of Starmie like it did Staryu. We still have Snarl for it though, which is a 2-shot on it. We can pick this up at the SSN. I've since leveled up to 25 and learned Slash, and I'm going to be skipping Body Slam, Rest, the Gentleman Candy. Zoroark isn't going to be needing any of those today and head straight for Rival 3. And against him, it's the Slash Show. It one-shots all of his Pokemon. I know we're nearly 5 minutes into this video and it's probably going to be a short one. I don't know how long it'll end up being at this point in the voiceover, but we can see early on that Zoroark isn't messing around. And I wanted to include this funny little blooper Super. I walk into Surge's gym, and in Pokebite, I forgot to set the flag to have his trash can puzzle solved. But I just leave, pause my run, hit a button, save, and freeze in Pokebite, and voila, the doors are open. And just like with Rival 3, it's the Slash show against Surge. It's a shame Zoroark can't learn Thunderbolt, because it would make this run be even more dominant. There isn't much to talk about after Vermilion with Rock Tunnel and all that, so I'm going to skip ahead to Celadon. I've already taken care of my shopping errands, getting my Super Repels, getting Fly, getting the Fresh Water, and before I head to the game corner, I'm going to head to Saffron to get us an immediate upgrade to our moveset in the form of Psychic. While we do learn this at level 52, why not get early access to it if I can? And as per tradition, whenever I pick up a new move, I don't teach it right away. As I've already mentioned, I played this run on 420, and I'm recording this voiceover on Friday, June 13th, late in the afternoon, and I don't remember my complete thought process during this run, other than I had time for one run before I had to drive 45 minutes to my in-laws and spend my whole damn day there. But fortunately, Psychic isn't needed for Giovanni. I still have Snarl for the 2 rock types, which utilizes my special stat, and his rock types have terrible special. Surprisingly, the Rhyhorn is able to tank at least one, but it has nothing that can hit me, and I just leave my cursor on Snarl for Kangaskhan, but then switch to Slash to easily finish it. I'm going to wrap up business in Celadon by taking on Erica, and something I want to point out here, I don't know why I'm taking this path through her gym. I didn't need to fight that cool trainer. I could have just fought the Execute Beauty to save time, but maybe that tiny bit of extra experience will help out down the road. As far as Erica goes, if you've been paying attention to the last few major battles, then you know my move of choice, Slash. During this fight, I do hit level 34 and can learn Shadow Claw. It's Ghost type Slash. It's an immediate upgrade over Bitter Malice in my personal opinion, and might even be an upgrade over Shadow Ball pending how you feel, but Zoroark right now is on a roll. Rival 4 is a pushover. Like with Erica, I'm able to one-shot his entire team with Slash. There really isn't much to say about Pokemon Tower, but when is there ever? While I still have Snarl for the Ghastlies, Shadow Claw is just overall better, and Snarl to this point has run its course. I need to decide where to head afterwards between Fuchsia and Silphco, and I made the decision to go to Silphco next. Part of my thought process was that I can get the extra candy while here, but I also contemplated getting the TM for Swords Dance, and the possibilities of pairing it with Amnesia for some double badge boost like I did in my bug-only Nuzlocke. I end up not picking it up today because Amnesia will be more than enough in the late game, especially with 2 special moves at my disposal in the late game in Psychic and Fire Blast. Rival 5 time. You know a Pokemon is really good when it has 0 struggle against this rival. I'm able to 1 or 2 shot his entire team, with the only Pokemon causing any damage to me is Charizard with its Ember. Giovanni goes the same as the rival. During this fight, I level up to 40 and can learn Shadow Ball, which is a weaker Ghost-type version of Psychic, and while this move was great in my Hisuian Typhlosion run, I won't be learning it with Zoroark today. I feel like the guaranteed crit with Shadow Claw will be overall better for Zoroark, but if only the Psychic type wasn't immune to Ghost-type moves in Gen 1. I fall for the use super effective move syndrome against Kadabra. Rather than use Slash, which has just enough PP to take out her entire party, I go for the weak Dark type move, which does about half. Kadabra strikes back with Psychic, doing about a third of my remaining health and getting a special drop. I do the smart play, which is switch to Slash, and it finishes off her lead and one-shots the rest of her team to no one's surprise. The only place to head to progress is Fuchsia. On Cycling Road, I do pick up the candy, but I'm not going to be picking up any optional battles. I go through the Safari Zone as quickly as I can to get the final HMs of the run. Afterwards, I head to Fuchsia City Gym. The jugglers don't give Zoroark any problems, and I don't expect Koga to either. Like I should have done against Sabrina, against Koga, I just go for Slash. After knocking out Coughing, I level up to 43 and can learn Amnesia, and it's time for Zoroark to just cruise through the rest of the game. Slash 2-shots the Muck, but it can't do much to me, and just the chef's kiss on this battle is Weezing using Self-Destruct, which can't hit me. Upon arriving to Cinnabar, I'm going to teach Psychic to Zoroark. I delete Swift in its place, and this is going to be my move of choice for majority of battles going forward. hard. Like against Blaine, I might have been able to get away with just one amnesia, but after two, his team just melts in the face of Psychic. The same is said for Giovanni. While I probably didn't have to set up against him, the Nidos tend to tank a hit when you least expect it. But we're just over 10 minutes into a video and Zoroark has completed the gym challenge. And in terms of real time, it's got just over 28 minutes on the clock. As it stands right now, it's on a pace to take the top spot on the leaderboard over Galarian Rapidash. I don't bother healing before the rival, and I have just enough PP to get through this battle. I feel like the only way you could lose is if you get an unlucky crit, and then his Pokemon crit you with a physical move, which Pidgeot is the only Pokemon with a physical move and wing attack that can hit us. But I knock it out after one setup of Amnesia. I can fully set up against Rhyhorn and begin my sweep. The only Pokemon that could give you a problem here is Gyarados. I crit a Psychic against it, and then it hits me with Dragon Rage. Despite it only doing 40 HP of fixed damage, I didn't heal beforehand, and a Gen 1 miss could make things bad for me. But I still have plenty of PP and Slash which take it out, along with one-shotting Alakazam, and Psychic can easily take down Charizard as Zoroark is on its way to the league. I don't bother battling any extra trainers in Victory Road or picking up the rare candy, it's just going to slow us down. I have 0 resets to this point, and I'm hoping Zoroark can complete the perfect run and not have something like the champion wall him, like he did with Alolan Sandslash, so let's get straight into the league. Lorelei is first. Dugong just keeps going for rest so I can set up for free, and I can use Psychic and Slash to 1 or 2 shot her Pokemon. I do crit against the Lapras, missing the 1 shot, and it spams Confuse Ray because Ghost type move is super effective. And while I do hit myself twice, I get through to knock out the Loch Ness Monster, Bruno. Before Agatha, I'm going to use 5 rare candies to bring myself to 55, just above 2 damage rounding thresholds, although 50 or 53 still could have probably given me 1-shots. I use Shadow Claw for the Ghosts and Psychic for the Arbok and Golbat. Last is Lance, and it's more of the same. Set up Amnesia, go for Psychic, and sweep. Gyarados and the Dragons could give you some problems if you were to Gen 1 miss and they go for Dragon Rage, or Gyarados were to crit a Hydro Pump. I do get a little nervous against Aerodactyl because I do crit a Psychic and don't one-shot it. I was expecting it to go for Supersonic and then just have unlucky Confusion luck, but it just goes for Bite and I can finish it and Dragonite, and all that's left is the champion. Pidgeot is first, and I actually forgot to teach Fire Blast over Shadow Claw before this battle, which was going to be my resolution for Exeggutor. I get in 1 turn of setup and then go for Psychic, which doesn't one-shot Pidgeot. It retaliates with Sky Attack, and had it crit, that probably would have been our first reset of the run. Only taking half from Sky Attack though when I thought it would do a lot more, I'll take it. We can knock it out and move on to Alakazam, which goes down in 1 slash, and against Rhydon, I can finish my setup. It goes for a Leer, further badge boosting me, and Horn Drill, which can't hit me. Really, I should have mimicked Horn Drill for this battle just to try and make it more interesting. Fire Blast would have made Exeggutor trivial and saved time, but 2-shotting this thing with Psychic and Slash and it not going for Hypnosis to further stall me, I'll gladly take it. The final 2 Pokemon are Gyarados and Charizard, and unless I were to Gen 1 miss or crit, and they were to hit me with Fire Blast or Hydro Pump and crit, we are in absolutely no danger thanks to our maxed out special, along with our great speed stat. Zoroark completes the resetless run and claims the crown. It clocks in with a real time of 33 minutes and 7 seconds, finishing at level 58, with an in-game time of 2 hours and 13 minutes, beating out Galarian Rapidash for the top spot on the tier list by 6 minutes, and also becoming the second Pokemon to beat the best time I ever got in a Sanqui run, which was with Regigigas. And since it's been 2 months since the last playthrough, I decided to dive in for a second run and see if I could best my best results. We're going to jump ahead to Erica. I've skipped all of the optional battles I took in the first run to this point, and I've gotten Psychic early just like last time, but I teach it over Snarl early on, and it's going to be my move of choice against Victory Bell. It unfortunately doesn't get the one-shot as it puts me to sleep with Sleep Powder. Zoroark then snoozes enough for Victory Bell to take it out with Razor Leaf for the first reset of this video. I do get a second try victory over the Grass Specialist though. Instead of going to Silver Silphco after Pokemon Tower, I head to Fuchsia and Koga's gym. Since I have Psychic on my moveset, he's not a challenge. But Rival 5 is, and this battle gets down to the wire. Slash doesn't one-shot Execute, which then poisons me with Poison Powder. The following Gyarados then crits Hydro Pump, and when I make it to Charizard, after poison damage, I hang on from a crit from Ember with just 2 HP remaining. That battle was a bit too close for comfort. Fast forward to the league, I do have a quick reset on Lorelei because I forgot to heal once I got to the league. I was trying to go fast to get a good time, but unfortunately made a stupid mistake that's going to cost me a little bit of real time. This battle is a bit annoying and too close for my liking. Dugong crits an Aurora Beam as you saw, Psychic doesn't one-shot Cloyster and it's able to hit me with Clamp stalling some time, Slowbro crits a Water Gun against me, and Psychic doesn't one-shot Lapras which confuses me when I'm on low health. But if we don't include the reset for forgetting to heal, it's a first try victory through the league. Zoroark once again finishes at level 58 with a real time of 33 minutes and 7 seconds. This time with 2 resets, but with an in-game time of 2 hours and 9 minutes, shaving 4 minutes off my first playthrough. It goes without saying that it claims the top spot on the tier list for our Gen 1 solo run challenges. There are other Pokemon I've redone and re-ranked that have placed very well, but I want to put together a marathon run for those. At least according to the poll that you guys voted on, that's what you want to see. I feel like I'd need at least a week off from my day job to do at least 2 or more voiceovers a day to get that done. Anyway, sorry this one is a bit late. As I mentioned in my community post, my new kitten, Nugget, has made it a bit hard to record voiceover, along with completing playthroughs, due to jumping on my desk, in my lap, on my PC, chewing cords, the whole 9 yards. I'm hoping he's more like our other cat Calypso when he gets a little older. Anyway, thank you for the continued support on the channel. We've got a good one coming up next week. I'll catch you then. Take care, everybody.